Hello crafty friends and welcome to this 14th entry of the Thoughtful Knitter video journal. My name's Ailey and I'm coming to you from the very far north of the Scottish mainland where we are in full-blown winter lighting situation. It is 4:30 in the afternoon and it is dark outside. Sunset was an hour ago, so I am on fake light. I hope it's not too bad. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? I hope you are all well. I hope that your crafty fingers have been busy over the last couple of months. I know mine certainly have. I've been quite poorly over the last wee while and continue to be so, but nothing to worry about, nothing serious, just quite debilitating. But yeah, I wanted to get on and show you some of my finished objects that I've been churning out over the last wee while and get a video up ahead of all the Vlogmas traffic because it's sure to get lost in amongst that. Yes, so what have we got to talk about today? I mainly am going to talk about finished objects because all of my active whips at the moment are at a similar kind of stage of almost finished. I have been working on the Christmas jumpers that I always do for my nephews and niece. So yeah, I'm trying to get those finished before December comes along, which is only a few days away. And I don't think there's much point in showing them to you at this stage because anyone who is looking for inspiration for festive knits, for garments, probably has run out of time. So what I think I'll do instead is maybe October time next year, do a video specifically to do with all of the different jumpers that I have knitted over the years, just to give you a bit of inspiration, and that would still give plenty of time to think about it for that same year. I think if I talk about it now, you might get some inspiration, but you'll have run out of time and you'll have forgotten about it by the time the next festive season comes around. So yes, that was a long waffle to say I don't think there's going to be very many works in progress today, but I will be talking about some future plans for Advent and following on into the new year. And talking of that, I am going to be announcing a new make-along that I'm going to have running from the 21st of December until the 1st of February. So I'll talk about that a bit more towards the end if you're interested. And the other thing I wanted to mention is a giveaway, because I realised that I haven't done a 5,000 subscriber giveaway and I thought it would be quite nice to do so. So I'll have that in at some point as well. Anything I do mention will be linked below in the description box. I think YouTube have done some kind of update now where you have to click more to see all of that information. It used to be in a little downwards arrow, but they seem to have footed about with it again and changed it. So yeah, all the information that I mentioned will be down there, but you'll also find timestamps if you want to go to anything in particular, or if you want to stop and start without cutting me off mid-sentence, that's quite easy to go through as well. And yeah, that's everything, except I haven't told you where you can find me online because I never do, so I will put the information up here, all the places that you can find me, and yeah, let's get into it. Let's start off with what I'm wearing. If I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. This is Editing Ailey here because I completely forgot to thank those of you who so generously helped me to raise money through the charity knit sale that I had in my last episode. I just wanted to say a great big heartfelt thanks to those of you who bought from my Ko-Fi shop, and just wanted to let you know that we were able to raise £230 to go to International Medical Corp. So I thank you. I am so delighted that some of you wanted to buy some of my knits and that they have gone to new homes, and that we were also able to raise so much for such a good cause. Thank you. Okay, so I am 2 months behind schedule showing you this one. I am wearing my finished Cargill sweater, which was a debut pattern from Rebecca of the Creabea podcast, and she's even released her second. In fact, she's released 2 patterns since this one, so yeah, I'm well behind schedule. But I thought I would give you my take on the pattern and the experience of knitting it as well. So yeah, I've spoken about it at length before, but just a quick rundown is this was knitted in Rerum Natura Ulysse yarn in the colourway Erable. It's a beautiful kind of rusty, orangey, browny, orangey reddy colour. It's really difficult to show in the lights, so even in daylight it seems to come up different colours each time. And it is, let me think, it's got kind of balloon type sleeves, and I did a few modifications to mine. So I knitted mine, I lengthened the arms and the body. The body is meant to be a bit more cropped. I'll just show you where it sits on me. I don't know how well you could see that, but it's kind of mid-hip length. So I lengthened mine by, I think, 2 inches on the body and the sleeves. And what else did I do? My yoke is deeper. That was mainly because there was a wee miscommunication during the test. I don't know if you're all aware of what happens during test knits, but sometimes you'll be working from a pattern that isn't the finalised pattern. In fact, very often that's the case. And you don't always have all the information. Sometimes you don't have the full pattern, sometimes you maybe don't have the full measurements. So in this case we didn't have access to a schematic and we didn't have the measurements for the yoke until later on in the test. There was a wee bit of miscommunication, so mine ended up a good bit deeper. But I mean, it's fine, it means that it's not sticking into my oxters, as we call them in Scotland. Yeah, so I think those were the main modifications. I also shortened my neckline a little bit. It was meant to be slightly deeper. And yeah, so the pattern called for a fingering weight and a mohair held together, but I used a sport weight instead. And yeah, that's about it. I'm sure you have seen plenty versions online. I want to tell you that I absolutely love this jumper, but I'm afraid I can't, much as I want to see that. I loved the squishiness of it when I was knitting it. I love looking at it when it's not on me, but I'm not in love with the way it looks on me. And that's probably to do with a couple of things. Firstly, I hadn't realised when I signed up for the test, because I had never worked this dip stitch before. Although actually I have worked similar things, I just didn't realise it. But what is happening here is you basically have a double layer of fabric. So I have got a sport weight held double. So that is really quite a thick fabric and really warm fabric. And when I signed up for it, I chose this colour because I wanted something to wear in the autumn. And this is definitely not an autumnal jumper. This is deep winter, and probably not even winter inside where I live. I'm not sure how much use I'm going to get out of it because it is really quite warm. I don't know how the people who knitted with mohair are feeling with theirs, but it's far too hot for me. But it would be ideal for if you live somewhere where you have kind of temperate winters with like no wind, nice and still, like maybe snowy climate or something. No, maybe not that cold, but say if it's about 10 degrees C, which is, I don't know what in Fahrenheit, quite cold, and you don't have much wind or rain or anything, I think this would make a perfect outdoor jumper. But as it is, it's just a little bit too hot for me inside. And the other thing I'm not keen on, and I know this is entirely the rage at the moment is these great big sleeves. Now, I don't mind them down here, but I'm not happy about them here. They just get on my nerves and look all kind of bulky, and I think that possibly is to do with my choice of yarn. I think the other ones that I've seen maybe have a bit more drape about them, the ones that used Merino, so the fullness is more down in the bottom part, which is, I quite like that. But I do find this quite annoying, especially when the ease on the sleeves is so much more than on the body. So if I was to knit it again, I would definitely either cast on less stitches for the sleeve portion or do less raglan increases so that I was starting with a smaller number. And I mean, I think even with a tighter amount, I would still have plenty extra fabric here. So yeah, I really, really love it when I don't have it on, which is a shame. I kind of wish that I'd used this yarn for something else. But I really enjoyed the process of knitting it. It was quite complicated at the start, that working the raglans, but Rebecca introduced some additional support into the paid for pattern. So I think, I mean, going by how many are being churned out on Instagram, I would say that people are having no problems with it at all. The only thing I would say, I didn't have this problem, but I know that people, it seemed to be people who knit continental style were finding that the dip stitch was quite hard in their hands and they had to kind of take it a little bit at a time. But yeah, it was quite interesting. All your complicated bits are in the setup and the raglan, and then after that it is just plain working in pattern. No decreases or shaping in the arms either, so it's definitely one of these ones that you can do as a bit of a mindless knit. The good thing being that it's worked over a four row repeat, so you have a couple of rows where you're not doing very much and then a couple where you are doing a bit more. So yeah, it's probably quite a good, slots into that spot of easy knit but not completely mindless. So yeah, that's what I have to say about my Cargill. I'd love to hear what you guys think, if any of you have knitted it, and it's definitely not a slight on the designer. I think Rebecca's done an amazing job, it's beautiful. It's just possibly that I should be putting more thought into the things that I sign up for test knits for. Maybe being a bit more circumspect about the fabric that's going to be made and the weight of that fabric, and also not signing up for test knit unless I've seen it on an actual body, because when this was released for testing it was just a flat lay picture, and like I say, I love it when I don't have it on but when I've got it on, I just don't think it's not what I envisaged for myself. I hope that wasn't too negative. I don't mean it to be. It's just I wanted to be honest about the warmth of it and the shape of it, and I know that everybody is different and what you're looking for in a knit might be completely different to me. I definitely like to knit things that I know are going to be timeless and are going to have a real purpose in my wardrobe. I'm not one for having stuff that isn't useful. And yeah, and I think when you put so much work into something, you want it to be something that you can wear for a long time, and I'm not convinced that these big baggy sleeves are gonna stand the test of time. I think they're a fashion fad that'll probably pass quite soon. But yeah, I hope y'all liked hearing about it. I'm sure you've heard lots of other people speak about it, so let's move on to my finished objects. Okay, finished objects. I've stripped off because a couple of these are garments, so I'll probably try them on when we get to them. The first one I'm going to talk about, it was a work in progress in my last episode and I finished it very shortly afterwards, so I won't chat about it too long, but this is the Bonnet Isle hat, and it was the Shetland Wool Week pattern for this year, and this was in one of the official colourways by Uradale yarns. And I think I was kind of like here-ish last time, so I only had to work the crown. So I'll show you the crown because it's lovely. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful wheel. I will link to my Ravelry page so you can get all the details of the colours and things there. If you're not able to use Ravelry and you want to know anything, do just email me and I will do my best to answer your questions, either email or get me by private message on Instagram. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with this one. I've had it on quite a lot. So let's try it on. Here we go. I am so chuffed with this. I absolutely love it. The patterns are just perfect for me. I've come from a fishing family, so we've got the chains like you have around boats, we've got the waves, and we've got anchors, and what I think looks like a boat's wheel. And I really love the colours. I'd said previously I never would have put these colours together, and I really enjoyed getting to work those. So yeah, it's definitely a beautiful pattern. The only thing I did differently is I omitted, there was another motif that went in here along the ribbing, and I omitted that to make it slightly shorter and less slouchy. And it's the perfect length for me. It just covers my ears, and yeah, perfect beanie size. What else to tell you about it? I knitted the medium size on the recommended needle size, and it is a free pattern. So yes, if you just look up Shetland Wool Week and go on there, you'll be able to download the pattern there. It is normally free until the next Shetland Wool Week pattern is released. So if you like the look of this one, head on over there and get it for free. Let's go on to the second finished object, which is another one that I've spoken about previously. I think it was possibly in a few episodes back, so I will put a wee click thing if you want to hear more about it, a direct link to the other video. And these are the Coastal Water socks. Oh, aren't they lovely? So this is a pattern by Kelly Menzies of Rerum. She has a podcast and she's also a knitwear designer, and I have knitted this in Black Isle Yarns Killen sock, which is a Blueface Leicester and Mohair blend, and I have knitted it to pattern, except that there should be another motif here, like the head of, I think it almost looks like a peacock feather, but it's meant to kind of represent the root base of sea kelp, but I just omitted it and just did the waves the whole way down and worked that top bit of twisted rib down into the V shape here. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm very happy with these. It is a Fleagle heel. It's worked toe up, and I knitted this on a 2.25mm needle, which gave me a tighter gauge than is normally called for, but I'm happy with that because this is a no nylon sock base, so I think they will wear a bit better at tighter gauge. Yeah, I wonder, I'll maybe try and pop one on and do some kind of jiggery pokery and show it to you. It fits really well. So that is the sock there. It's got the lace going the whole way down the outside of your foot, which is mirrored on the other sock. And kind of rounded toe. And yeah, I'm sure there's a better way of showing you these things. But yeah, I'm really happy with these. So now that I've showed them to you, I can put them into rotation. I think they're going to be really warm because it's non-superwash. so it's perfect timing for the winter coming in. So yeah, that's my second finished object. And the next two are a couple of garments. I do actually have another finished object, but it's a gift, so I will show you it probably after the festive season, chat to you about it a bit more then, because I think the recipient might be watching, so I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I will show you the other two, which are both garments for me. So the first garment that I finished was a bit of a surprise finish. I wasn't planning to work on it, and it is going to be one that I won't, it's going to come into the similar category as the Cargill, in that I don't know when I'm going to wear this, and this is even hotter, you know, it's far warmer, thicker fabric than the Cargill, but this is my finished Braids of Grass, which was a pattern by Albina McLaughlin, and I have knitted this in Podiversary, held double. I think it's light beige heather or something. I was working on this at the very start of the year, and I showed it on an episode back then. I'll put a link in again. And I had gotten both sleeves done, the yoke done, and I was partway through the body, but it was coming into springtime and I knew that I wasn't going to get to wear it for ages, and there was just no point in really working on it, and it was getting to the point, the days were lengthening, I wanted to work on something a bit lighter. My hands were getting quite sore because it's on quite a big needle. For this one I think I had to go up one needle size. I think it was a 5mm needle that I worked on, and it was just kind of cramping up my hands a little bit when I worked on it for too long, so I just set it aside, and my intention was to pick it back up kind of January next year. But I found myself in the position that I had nothing that was just pure stock and stitch, mindless knitting to do, and I needed that, and so I just picked it up and ended up finishing it. So I will pop it on for you to see. I absolutely love the colour. I love the fit of it. This is a lovely oversized jumper. It's just slightly oversized, you know, a little bit of ease here. The yoke fits really well. This bit doesn't seem to have blocked out as well as the sleeves. It's the same, what's the word? It's the same cable pattern on the sleeve trim and on the base here. But when it's lots and lots of them, it doesn't seem to sit the same, but that's fine. It's a nice kind of funnel neck. It's super duper warm. But yeah, I love it. I think it's gonna be definitely something that would be handy for outdoor wear, and it's got enough ease that I could wear a long sleeve top underneath. And yeah, what to tell you about it other than I'm now eating Podiversary. It was the first time I've used unspun yarn, and actually this would fit in for the cal that is currently being run by Selma of Little Big Knits and also a few other podcasters. It's called the Unspun Heroes cal. So yeah, this would fit in for that. It's the first time I used unspun yarn. I got on absolutely fine with it. I don't think I had any problems with breakage. I just quite quickly got into the swing of it. I think I would knit with it again, but probably just hold it singly, because this is a very, very dense, thick fabric, which, like I say, would be ideal for outdoor wear. But I live in quite wet climate. I suppose I could wear just a light raincoat over the top. Actually, that might be quite a good use of it. Yeah, so I'll do a quick stand up so you can kind of see where it hits lengthwise. That didn't really work. It is kind of just below the mid hip lengthwise, and full length sleeves. It was so long ago that I worked this that I can't really remember if I did very many modifications. I think I did because I've got scribbles all over the pattern. I think I possibly put more of the stitches on the fronts so that there was more room in the bust than there was in the back. And the only thing I really remember about this was that working the cables with the Podiversary was not a lot of fun because it's got no give in it at all. It's not a stretchy yarn, and that, you know, like if you have a Merino or something, it's got a bit of stretch which makes it easier in your hands. This is solid. It's a bit more like knitting with a cotton or something. So yeah, it wasn't the most fun to knit these cables. I definitely wouldn't be rushing to do them again with Podiversary. I would quite happily work with Podiversary for like colour work or a textured stitch, as in like knits and purls, but I wouldn't be rushing to do cables with it again, although I really love the effect. I love these kind of really subtle cables that kind of almost disappear into the background and into the fuzz, and I'm pretty chuffed with it. So yeah, I would recommend the pattern. It's a good fit, it was quite quick, and yeah, I really like this colour of the Podiversary, and I think the lights are showing off quite well the different variation in it. You know, you've got light bits and dark bits, and yeah, it's really pretty. My final finished object for today is another jumper, and this is the Savannah by Diana Walla. I started it back in the summer mainly because I had a bit of a hankering for knitting colour work, and I really wanted to knit with the colours that this is made from. It is a bottom-up construction, which is normally not my favourite, but it has worked in this one, thankfully. And it is a sport weight yarn. I used Cascade's 220 Sport, which is a non-superwash Highland, 100% Highland Peruvian wool, and I really enjoyed working with it. Yeah, I'll do a quick stand up so you can see it. I'm really chuffed with it. I did quite a few modifications on this one. I worked the body longer. I did another full repeat of this on top of what I asked for, and then worked up more. I think I worked 16 inches for the body length. I also changed the chart a bit because it did have these funny little points in the bottom here that I didn't like, so I changed the chart around a little bit. I also worked, there was a big jump between sizes. There was like a 36-inch bust and then a 40-inch bust, and I decided I wanted a 38-inch bust. So it is just pretty much zero wheeze actually, because I seem to be expanding. I thought I had a 37-inch bust, but I think it's maybe closer to 38 these days. So, but it's fine, it fits, you know, it's not too tight and it's not too loose either. So there's a bit of, you can still see a bit of shape. It's got a lovely kind of fake seam down the side of the colour work, which is fun. And then you work your sleeves bottom up, and then you join in doing raglans. This is a double folded collar. What else to tell you about it? It's not got a huge size range, it's not very size inclusive. It's one of Diana Walla's older patterns, and it seems to be owned by Quince & Co. So I don't think there'll be any changes to that. But yeah, it was a nice knit. I did not enjoy this part up here. Sorry, poking at my chest. Up here you're working 3 colour work, so you can see it's not the neatest because there was so much float catching going on. So that wasn't my favourite part. I far prefer just 2 colour work. But yeah, it was a nice project, and I think I would probably knit it again. I really enjoyed it. I haven't worn it yet, so I can't report back on how well the yarn wears. I kind of think it might pill a little bit, but because it's really quite soft, but we will see. Yeah, so those are my finished objects for today. Let's go on to the giveaway. Okay, 5,000 subscriber giveaway time. I just wanted to do a wee giveaway as a thank you to you guys for all of your encouragement and for sticking with me through my somewhat irregular, erratic uploading. Yeah, I can't believe that there's 5,000 of you subscribed, and I meant to do a giveaway when that happened, but it coincided with the channel's anniversary, so that kind of slipped my mind. So I thought it would be nice to coincide the giveaway as a thank you to you guys with support of indie dyer from the UK. And I noticed on Instagram about a month or so ago that there was a discount code on for a company called Adventures in Yarncraft. Now, I had never bought from them before, but I had a quick look and she had some really beautiful colourways. And the reason that she was doing a discount was that she had had her wheelchair stolen from outside her house and was needing to raise money to buy another one. So, I mean, some people, honestly, it just... Anyway, obviously I wanted to support her and had a quick look through. It had to be really quick because things sold out really quickly. Thankfully, she got a lot of support. But I found a skein that I thought would be lovely and that most people would probably like. I'll just show you. So it's got lovely purples and pinks and blues, and it's got a slight greeny tinge, and it is called Sea Glass, so that was the main reason that I couldn't pass it by. So yeah, I've gone for this one, and I also got a little notions pouch, which has her logo on it, and it's also got some stitch markers. It's got a darning needle. Got a lovely progress keeper here. What else is there? There's a measuring tape and some really pretty scissors. So yeah, I thought that was a pleasing bundle that somebody might like. So if you would like to get your hands on this and participate in the giveaway, all you have to do is like and subscribe the video. You can press the notification bell as well if you like, and if you can also comment and tell me anything at all. Any comment will be an entry. Tell me what you're looking forward to over the next few months, or tell me what you're knitting on, or whatever you like. Just leave a comment below, but make sure you use the figures 5,000. Have that somewhere in your comment, and that'll be a entry into the giveaway. I'll leave it open until Christmas Day and then draw a winner, and I will announce it on an episode. I'm hoping to do an episode between Christmas and New Year, so I will announce the winner then. So yeah, if you would like to get your hands on this lovely wee bundle, then just put in an entry below, and like I say, use the figures 5,000 in that comment, and you will be entered into the draw. So now that that excitement is over, let's get on to some more excitement in my future plans. Whew, I'm feeling the heat today. I've taken off that jumper. I meant to say, do you like my t-shirt? I got, oh, there's some lopey here. I got it from my sister for Christmas last year, and I do enjoy it. Anyway, future knitting plans. So, I have been busy, as I said in the introduction, I've been busy knitting Christmas jumpers for the little people in my life, and my plan had been to knit a top for myself in December. I didn't want to knit a Christmas jumper, but I did want to knit something kind of special for all the festivities, and I thought that the Abydos top by Lily Kate France would be perfect for any kind of nights out, afternoons out, lunches, that sort of thing that you end up doing, any socialising over the Christmas period. So my plan was to knit that, but as I said in the beginning, my health has been pretty ropey, so it's looking like I probably won't be getting out to anything. So I'm not sure if I am still going to knit that. My plan, I mean, I've swatched and everything. I've got the swatch here. I am planning to make it in black, which you can't see because it's black. But my plan, the original was knit in Rerum cotton cashmere, which is 95% cotton and 5% cashmere. But I decided if it was going to be a wintry top, then I would maybe need a little bit more warmth. So I was going to knit it in Coast. So it is, I think it's 50-50. No, it's not. It's 55% lambswool and 45% cotton. And it's just in the colourway black. So my plan is to knit the body in that, and then to knit the mohair bit also in a black mohair. So I'm not sure if I'm going to carry on with that or not. I might, because it would be quite nice still to have something nice to wear. Even if I was able to get out to like a burn supper or something, which is like a month after Christmas, I could maybe aim for something nice to wear then if I can get out and about. We'll see, or it could just be a nice thing to wear on Christmas Day if I could get it finished in time, but I'm not going to pressure myself. I'm kind of over the deadlines now after having all the Christmas jumpers to knit, so watch this space for this one. It will get made at some point, whether it's this month coming or not, I'm not sure. Yeah, so that was going to be my first plan. But what I might end up doing, knowing me, is I will probably try and do another couple of gift knits, because it always gets to this kind of time of year and I start thinking, oh, I would love to make this for this person and I'd love to make this for the next person. And yeah, that is likely to be what happens. But looking further ahead past the festivities, as I said earlier, I'm planning to host a make-along. And for that make-along, I would quite like to make a couple of things. So let's chat about the make-along. It's going to be called the Curry In or Cool Off Mal. So it's going to be a make-along, which means that any craft whatsoever is welcome. And it's going to run from the 21st of December to the 1st of February. So that's going to be the depths of winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's going to be when it's at its coldest. It's going to go from the shortest day through to when light starts to return. And it's that sort of time of year where all you want to do is cosy in by the fire, and in Scotland we call that currying in. So I've called it the Curry In Mal, but I didn't want to leave you guys in the Southern Hemisphere out, and I know it's height of summer with you at that point, so I thought we could also call it the Cool Down Mal. So I'm thinking maybe things like strappy summer tops or shorty socks or that sort of thing. So it's only a 6-week make-along, so I mean, some of you might be able to get out full-blown garments in that time, but there's definitely no pressure. And yeah, I'm not going to rerun the make-along that I did last year, because I realised after I had started it that I was pretty much reinventing the wheel, and that in January there's already an event that runs every year called Fun a Day, where you spend time each day in January working on a craft. I think it's meant to be a craft you haven't worked on before, but yeah, I thought there's no point reinventing the wheel. Let's just go for what I want to do this year, and that is to curry in and make all the cosy things. So my plans for the make-along are this sock pattern here. This is one that I bought, I can't remember when, back in the summer probably, and it's got like a lovely little sun on the toe and some rain clouds on the top and a rainbow. And when I saw it, I thought, this is what I need to be making in January. January is just dreary and dreich, as we say in Scotland, and it's just not the nicest time of year. Everything's dark, nobody's doing anything, everyone wants to be in by the fire, and I thought, what's more joyful than some sunshine and rainbows? So my plan is to knit this sock. I also thought I would work on a crochet project that I started a couple of months ago, and that is the Granny Go Round cardigan. I'll put a picture in so you can see what it's meant to look like, but at the moment mine is just a bit of a disaster of ends that need woven in. So it's basically a scrappy project, and it's going to be really, really warm, and my plan is to have this as my cozy in at home cardigan when it's really, really cold, and I'm sure nobody needs to be told that the cost of living has gone through the roof. So if I can keep the heating down to a minimum and clothes to a maximum, then that's great. So this is it so far, and I had loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of non-superwash scraps that were sitting, and I wasn't sure what to do with them. So this is what I'm going to work it up into. So I have done the body, and I've done the bottom rib. I don't know if you can see that. The lighting's not the best, but so the next stage is for me to pick up and work a rib the whole way around the front, and obviously do something about these mountain of ends. And then it'll be sleeves. So let's see if I can put it on. I mean, I can't see me wearing this out of the house. But I do love it. It's very cozy. So it's got a nice kind of scoop neck, and these will obviously all be in and replaced with ribbing, and then I'll have nice long sleeves. And yeah, I think January, closing in January with a spot of crochet and working through my scraps will just be perfect. So yeah, that's my other plan. So if you like the sound of that make along, do let me know. Leave a comment down below and tell me what sort of things you might like to work on. I will release another episode around about the time that it starts, so that you know all the ins and outs of how to take part. I envisage it being on Instagram, or if you don't have Instagram, emailing me a copy of a photo of your finished object like we did last year for the Eclectic Crafting Mal. So yeah, it should be open to everybody to participate. I do not have a Ravelry group set up because I've been a bit reticent to start one when not everybody can access it. But if that's something that you would like as a place to kind of chat, then do let me know and I could easily set one up. We had a Discord group last year, but it wasn't really used that much, so I don't know if I would do another one. Again, let me know below if you would like that. But yeah, I think that is everything on the crafty front this episode. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me witter on for far too long about nothing in particular. And thanks for sticking with me, and I really hope that you have a wonderful month ahead. I probably won't be releasing many episodes in December ahead of Christmas because there's going to be an awful lot of Vlogmas traffic, and I'm sure you'll get overwhelmed with content. But yeah, until we meet again, I'm wishing you every joy for the seasons ahead, and if you celebrate or not, I just hope that you can find time for your crafting and time to be with people that you love, and that you can enjoy whatever it is you like most about this time of year. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye.